Next on TOONDISE, it's an all-new episode of GameView. It's time for GameView, television and video game reviews. And now, Scott Thal.
Hey guys, welcome back to GameView. Now, do you guys remember this game? I certainly do, and I'm sure quite a few of you remember it as well. It does not bring back a lot of good memories, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. But it is that time. We are midway through 2019, and we need to talk about Paper Mario on the Nintendo Switch. Before we get started though, as always, if you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to TOONDISE, and also join us on our new Discord server, and also check out our website, toondice.com, vote in our monthly surveys to voice your opinions on shows airing on TOONDISE. So, here we are, basically at the end of July, and we need to go over this. So, obviously, all of you guys remember the situation that was Paper Mario Color Splash on the Wii U. This goes back to October of 2016, technically earlier, March of 2016, when we got that first 1-minute trailer from Nintendo. And, yeah, I'm not gonna go over the whole history of how Paper Mario has gone downhill and everything. It's been beaten to death at this point. But Color Splash came out, and the battle system was absolute garbage, like we thought. Just copied over from Sticker Star. Slightly improved, but mostly copied over. The story was also garbage. Bowser mixing paint colors together, getting essentially taken over by black paint, and that was the extent of the story. But I will say that I still have to praise the game for the music, and the graphics were okay, minus, of course, the white outlines around the borders of characters. I think that wasn't really necessary to emphasize the paper point, but just my opinion. But yeah, everything together, ultimately the game failed. It was a massive failure, thank goodness, because sometimes it needs to get that point across to companies that they can't just do whatever the heck they want. They've got a built-in established fan base, and if they don't listen to what their fans want, then guess what? It's going to reflect in the sales numbers. Just to do a quick recap though, these were the Media Create sales charts from Japan back in October of 2016. First week, Color Splash released almost at 21,000 sales. That was a massive hit. By comparison, I believe Sticker Star's first week on the 3DS actually got close to 130,000 units in Japan. So down about 110,000. The second week, Color Splash did even worse. It got about 4,500. So it ended off the month with, I think, close to 35k in Japan alone, of course. But that was a total train wreck, and hopefully Intelligent Systems learned at that point they had definitely screwed up. Anyways, so the point being, it was earlier this year. I think it was in March or April. This was before E3 of this year, 2019. That, of course, the standard rumors were going around, right? You know, it was all over the place. Game Explain or Nintendo Life, they were talking about how they expected E3 2019 a new Paper Mario to be announced. I think it was Derek at Game Explain. Yes, I am calling you out, Derek, who said that it was about time for a new Paper Mario. If you guys remember, I did not think it would be that time. At least not just yet, anyway. I still have my reservations. And it looks like I was right, because we are not getting a Paper Mario game this year. It's just way too soon. And of course, Nintendo has a bunch of other first-party stuff they want to get out. The core Pokemon title, Luigi's Mansion, all of this other stuff. So I was correct in that assumption. It was pretty obvious, so we were not getting a Paper Mario this year. But I still very confidently believe that we are going to get one next year. And I don't know if we are going to see a return to form. Something along the lines of the N64 Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. But I do have a bit of hopeful optimism here. So I just want to go back to Color Splash's sales figures for a quick second. A lot of people on the internet, including Roxy, I was talking to him about this a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that if Color Splash had not come out at the end of the Wii U's lifespan, if it was ported over to the Switch, that it would have done much better. I do agree. I mean, you could port any game to the Switch, and I'm sure the sales numbers would at least triple or quadruple just because of how popular the Switch is. But I still think, overall, it would have still gotten the same level of outrage as when it was initially revealed back in March 2016. And I still think the sales would have been lower than what Intelligent Systems would have thought they would have been, especially compared to, I guess, a typical Paper Mario entry. I mean, even if you take Sticker Star, I mean, obviously a lot of people bought Sticker Star because we thought it was a return to form, but it wasn't, and you can't fool the same person twice, so when we saw Color Splash and a lot of the outrage ensued, I'm sure that was a main factor in the game not doing well. So it wasn't just the Wii U as a console, as a failed console, but it was also just not listening to fan feedback and just having that ego go way over Intelligent Systems' head, thinking that Tanabe could do whatever the heck they wanted and Paper Mario would still sell, which obviously did not happen. But going back to my predictions here, first off, I do think we are getting a Paper Mario next year. Now, if you look at the timeline, right, the original Paper Mario came out in 2001, Thousand Year Door 2004, Super Paper Mario 2007. So this was before the HD 1080p days, where games took much longer to create. But we know Intelligent Systems is capable of pushing out a Paper Mario game every 3 years. They just choose not to, for whatever reason. But if we take a look at Sticker Star, that came out in 2012, Color Splash came out October 2016, so roughly a 4-year gap. I think they could probably reuse some of the assets from Color Splash, some of the textures as well. Plus, Intelligent Systems has experience now creating an HD Paper Mario title, so 4 years is an acceptable timeline for a new Paper Mario game, and that's where we're headed next year. So what I think is going to happen, we are going to get to March of next year. We're going to get a Nintendo Direct, and we're probably going to get a trailer for the next Paper Mario, and that will come out in October of 2020. So we're still a little over a year away from the next title coming out. But I did think that was going to be the case. It was overly optimistic for people to assume that it was going to come out this year, because again, I have no doubt Intelligent Systems is perfectly capable of pumping out titles 3 years at a time, but again, they just choose not to, and I'm not sure what the reason is behind it, but at least right now, we're looking at a 4-year gap between Paper Mario entries. Now, that brings us to the next question, will it be a return to form? And like I said, I am actually optimistic that it will be, and let me tell you why. We've seen with the Switch itself that Nintendo seems to be listening to fan feedback a lot more than in the older Iwata days, and no disrespect to Satoru Iwata whatsoever, but during that time frame of the Wii and the Wii U, it just seemed like Nintendo wasn't really all that interested in what their fans wanted. And especially was the Wii U, where we saw games like Color Splash, like Star Fox Zero, like spin-offs such as Animal Crossing, Amiibo Festival, and Pokken Tournament, not actually getting core Animal Crossing, core Pokemon titles developed for the console, and just Nintendo seemingly doing whatever the heck they wanted to. And now seeing with the Switch where they are listening to the fans. We take a look at games like Super Mario Party, right? A return to form for that game. I mean, obviously it's not perfect. I would like the Pro Controller supported. But you see them trying to appease the fans more so now than they've ever done before. Mario Tennis Aces, another example, where Nintendo, after the disaster of Ultra Smash on the Wii U, decided to go back to the formula that originally worked. And Tennis Aces has done extremely well for sales. Luigi's Mansion, right? I mean, we're taking a look at that. That's coming out in a couple of months at the end of October. We've now got a firm release date, October 31st. But that game looks like Nintendo is drawing upon the original Luigi's Mansion. Maybe some aspects of the 3DS version Dark Moon, but it does look like they are putting a significant amount of time and effort to appease the Luigi's Mansion fans. And then we just saw what happened with Metroid Prime 4, delaying that to try and, I guess, come out with a better Metroid Prime game. So we're seeing this a lot recently with first-party Switch titles. I don't think Paper Mario will be an exception to that rule, especially after what happened with Color Splash. So I do think Nintendo should, at the very least, have gone to Intelligent Systems after the horrible sales and said to them, hey, for the next title, you should at least consider going back to a formula that worked in the past. And maybe I'm just being way too optimistic on this, but I do have this feeling that we are going to get somewhat of a return to form. Will it be exactly like Thousand Year Door, where you've got the party members, you got the badge system? I don't know, but I think the next Paper Mario that does come out on the Switch, I think it will be closer to the N64 and Thousand Year Door versions than Super Paper Mario, than Sticker Star, than Color Splash. Especially because, well, Tanabe himself said that they were done with the Color Splash battle system, as it were. And like I said, hopefully he has moved on to Metroid Prime 4. Now, I don't want to take flack from the Metroid Prime community, because I don't want to insinuate that he's going to ruin Metroid Prime 4 the way he ruined Color Splash and Paper Mario. But in a sense, I'm kind of glad that he's gone from Paper Mario. So we'll see what happens, but I am still confident, and maybe like I said, maybe I'm completely out of the ballpark here and completely unrealistic with my expectations, but I'm saying this now, watch out for next year. I don't know if it'll be March or E3, but I'm guessing, and this is just a hunch, I'm guessing closer to the spring, we will get some sort of trailer on the next Paper Mario, and like I said, expect a fall 2020 date. I would say 2021 would be the latest, because I don't think Intelligent Systems is going to push this off into the last couple of years of the Switch's life cycle. I think right now, obviously, they're focused on Fire Emblem Three Houses, since that just came out today, right? I mean, that's obviously a priority. But next year, once Fire Emblem's been out for a while and some of the DLC has come out, I think next year we are going to see Paper Mario. The only question now is what type of Paper Mario game will it be, and we'll see what happens. But like I say, keep an eye out for next year, because if you are a Paper Mario fan, more specifically if you are a traditional Paper Mario fan, like I am, I think 2020 is going to be the year that we are going to get a Paper Mario on the Switch, and I don't think it's going to be a port. First off, just cross that off your list. I mean, if you're hoping for Color Splash to be ported, not going to happen, because of the way the game was designed, based off of using two screens. So I think there would be a lot of work involved for Intelligent Systems to redesign the battle system of Color Splash just to fit on the single screen of the Switch. So if you're worried about that, if you're concerned that Paper Mario is coming to the Switch, but it's just going to be a port and they're going to move Color Splash over, don't be, because it's not going to happen. But the question is, will it be a Paper Mario like Thousand Year Door, or will it be something completely different, again, enraging Paper Mario fans the world over? We'll find out, because I'm pretty certain by this time next year, we'll have some information on Paper Mario. Good or bad, we will have some information, so stay tuned for that. Now, that actually brings me to my next point, which is a game that's currently out on the Switch right now that actually has a very similar feeling to Paper Mario Color Splash, except the battle system is what Paper Mario Color Splash's battle system should have been, but it wasn't. So let's jump right into that. Okay, so a couple months ago, back in April 2019, we saw this game called SteamWorld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh released on the Nintendo Switch. And I think it was about a month later, it was also released on Steam. But this game was designed by a Swedish video game company called Image & Form, and I think the guy in charge, and forgive me because I'm probably butchering his name, but I believe it's Brijan Sigurgesson. This guy should get a medal, and if Intelligent Systems had any intelligence whatsoever, they would actually have hired him to work on Paper Mario Color Splash. Because here's the thing, a lot of people don't know about this game, but I get asked a lot, and I see this question a lot on internet forums and message boards and on Reddit threads. Is there another game right now that is similar to Paper Mario? And right now, SteamWorld Quest is probably the most similar game, the one that closely resembles Paper Mario the way it used to be, except it uses a better version of the card turn-based combat system that Color Splash had. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here, just to give you guys a bit of a comparison. So, if you remember, in Paper Mario Color Splash, the combat was pretty pointless, very useless. You got into a battle, you used a card, a single-use card, which was essentially a single-use attack on an enemy. You defeated that enemy, you got coins, which could then be spent at the shop to get more single-use attack cards, which essentially perpetuated the cycle, right? I mean, you buy single-use cards to get coins, to buy more single-use cards to get more coins, essentially making the combat pointless in Color Splash, right? Well, in SteamWorld Quest, you're also using a card-based battle system, but the main focus of the game is an RPG with card-based elements. And that's where SteamWorld Quest succeeds, and Color Splash could have succeeded, but failed, because Intelligent Systems tried to design a game for 6-year-olds and did not have any intelligence creating it whatsoever. So anyways, we get into SteamWorld Quest here, and I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of this game. I've got over 70 hours played through the entire story campaign here. I 100% completed it. But the first thing you notice right off the bat is you've got different chapters. So remember back in the day when Paper Mario used to have 8 chapters, and each chapter focused on one specific story, and the entire chapter revolved around that story? Well, that's exactly what you've got here. You've got 19 chapters separated into 4 different acts, and the game itself, I think if you just rushed through it, you could probably get through the whole thing in about 10 hours, tops. But the reason I hit 70 was because I aimed for 100% completion. And in my book, once you get above 50 hours, especially when it comes to 100% completing the game, it's very, very similar to a full-on first-party $60 title, except in this case we're talking half the cost, around 30 bucks, and the game has a lot of effort put into it. So I'm just going to jump into Chapter 8 here, just to show you guys a bit of the battle system. And yes, this game does have voiceovers, so keep that in mind. So, just like Paper Mario, right? You're running around an overworld area. You can swing your sword or your weapon to get a first strike on the enemy. So, we are going to head up here. I think there's an enemy coming up. We've got save statues. Remember that, right? When you had that save block, you could go up to it, hit, yes, you want to save the game. And yeah, this is a typical cutscene. Standard text prompts, as you'd expect from any Paper Mario game ever created. And here's an enemy. Now, we're not going to get a first strike on this guy because it's a cutscene, unfortunately, but this is how the battle screen is set up. And as you can see, first off, we actually have a full-on set of numbers here. So if I hit plus and I just use this to check out the status of my party members, this is something that should have been part of Paper Mario, Sticker Star, and Color Splash, but wasn't. But you can clearly see here, for every party member, including the enemies, I can see their current HP, I can see their max HP, I can see their attack power, their special attack power. Are they weak or resistant to fire, ice, electric, dark type attacks? Are they immune to status conditions, right? Something, again, that should have been in Color Splash, but it wasn't. We get to the actual card-based system, which also differs from Color Splash, right? If you remember, Color Splash single-use attacks, so each card could only be used once. Then you had to actually buy a new version of that card or find it on the overworld map somewhere. That's not the case in SteamWorld Quest. So these cards, these 6 cards that I have right now in my hand, they are permanently attached to my in-game deck. So I've got a deck right now of 24 cards. These are 6 of them, and each one is an attack. Each one shows me the exact damage, or a rough average amount of damage, give or take about, I want to say 10% of the amount of damage that it will inflict. So if I use Cut Purse on, let's say, this guy, Omega Theta Brat A, roughly 413 damage that I'm going to inflict. And I can use up to 3 cards per turn, 3 attacks, 1 for each of my party members here. So, let's see, I don't have enough SP, Steam Pressure, to use Focused Rage, because I need 3, and as you can see at the top of the screen there, I only have 1 gear flashing in yellow. So let me get rid of this card, and oh, there we go, Fire Pillar. This is Copernica's attack, uses 1 SP, 1,257 damage, hits 3 times. I can hit the minus button on the Pro Controller. I can get a full-on description of what this attack does. Again, not in Color Splash, right? Color Splash using a very simplistic battle system. Let's use this on this guy, the Delta Tau. Let's see, I'm going to use... let's see, we'll get rid of that. Yeah, let's use this one. Let's use Poison. I'll poison the Omega Theta Brat here, and those are my 3 attacks for the turn. Critical hit. That's a 1-hit KO with Fire Pillar. And here comes Poison. His attack, Ice Shard, 130 damage. He loses 112. Okay, and we'll finish things off with Glass Cannon, which severely raises Copernica's special attack. Let's get rid of Blindside. Oh, Steel Strength. I'll steal his attack power, and we'll finish off with Meteor, a whopping 4,763 damage. Again, that's an average, give or take 10%, not counting a critical hit. But yeah. There we go. Vastly increased special attack. Enemy's physical attack is down, and BAM! And I probably should have checked just to make sure, but apparently he was resistant to that, and I still did over 4,000 damage. Overpowered. But yes, so that's a typical battle in SteamWorld Quest. We have EXP, my god, it's a miracle, right? Instead of just increasing your paint gauge, which really had no effect whatsoever throughout the entire game of Color Splash, here we have actual EXP. So you win battles, you get EXP, you level up, and guess what? You level up, your HP goes up, your attack goes up, your magic goes up. You also get crafting materials, so scroll fragments, foul liquid, smoldering embers, you get gold. All of this can be used to buy new cards and to upgrade your existing cards to make them more effective, to increase their damage. And guess what? when you buy new cards, they stay in your inventory permanently. So you never run into that issue with Color Splash where you're constantly running out of cards and you end up in a battle where you have cards that you can't use against certain enemies, like you only have hammers and you've got flying enemies, so you have to run away, right? And the other thing too is that there is a deck builder here as well. And there's equipment too, and items. So if I open up my deck for our Millie, right, I've got 8 cards here. These are each one of my attacks. I can go through my inventory here, pick any card I want, bam, add it to my deck. And again, that's a permanent addition. I don't have to worry about ever losing that card. Same thing with Copernica, or Galeo, or what's this guy's name again? Auric. Sorry, I never used him. And Terra and Thane. But yeah, it goes to show you, this is what Paper Mario should have been, at least Color Splash, right? Because again, if they were trying to do something different to differentiate themselves from the Mario and Luigi series, I think that the card type deck building strategy could have worked with Color Splash, but it needed to be something like this. It needed to be an RPG at its core, where you had equipment, where you had items, right? Where you could build your own decks, keep the cards in your deck, customize your decks with whatever attacks you wanted. If Color Splash had the battle system that SteamWorld Quest has right now, it would have gone over very well. I'm sure people would have still complained that it wasn't exactly like the N64 version or the GameCube version, but this game, like I said, this game is very reminiscent of Paper Mario, but it does not have the Paper Mario name attached to it. I would love for Image and Form to create a sequel to SteamWorld Quest, and even more than that, I would absolutely love if Intelligent Systems actually took a look at this game and said, you know what? Yeah, we did screw up. Color Splash's system was garbage, but this game, it actually has a very similar card-based battle system that could have worked with Color Splash. And you think of all the other things too, right? Where you've got actual status effects, actual numbers for HP, right? I mean, Color Splash, you never knew how much HP the enemy combatants had. You were just taking like a rough estimate based off of how much white color was on the enemy's sprite. Same thing with attacks. You used a Fire Flower, you didn't really know how much damage the Fire Flower would inflict, you were just taking a rough estimate. And here we actually have hard damage numbers and hard HP amounts. And again, this is just going to show you that Intelligent Systems, they had, I want to say they had the right idea with Color Splash, but the execution was just, it was an absolute failure. Like, it was poorly executed, and the end result was just a battle system that no one wanted to take part in. And outside of the boss battles, right, unless you were aiming to, I don't know, just collect every single card in Color Splash for whatever reason. Ah, there we go, first strike. Yeah, unless you were aiming to get like every single card, just so you could say, hey, I got the large Fire Flower. I mean, really, there was no point. So, yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you that this is what Color Splash could have been, and it hurts. It really does. Because if Intelligent Systems actually cared about Paper Mario as much as Sakurai cares about Smash as much as Aonuma cares about Zelda. Just think, right? What could have been? I mean, we could have had a Paper Mario game like SteamWorld Quest, and it would have been absolutely fantastic, and not nearly as many people would have complained. I certainly wouldn't have gone on full-on tilt mode and uploaded those videos, those initial reaction trailers to Color Splash, hating on the game. I definitely would not have done that if this is what we would have gotten, but yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Again, fingers crossed. Here's hoping that next year we've got some good news. I would love to see Brajan Sigurgesson and his team work with Intelligent Systems. I would just love to visit their headquarters in Sweden or wherever it is. I mean, hey, and invite me over. I'll come over. I want to shake this guy's hand because he did a phenomenal job. This game, it's funny. The writing, very, very good. The storyline is actually makes sense. It's actually a mature storyline about a hero turning evil, and then you have to save the world from this evil mechanical behemoth beast. And there are 3 levels of difficulty, so if it's too easy, just ramp up the difficulty and have a go at it. But yeah, again, it just goes to show you that Image and Form made a game that is more like Paper Mario than Intelligent Systems, the developer of Paper Mario. So, if you guys want to check it out, like I said, it's out right now on Steam. It's also out on the Switch. It's called SteamWorld Quest: Hand of Gilgamesh. Definitely recommend this title. It is the closest thing to an actual Paper Mario game that we've seen in a very, very long time, and you will not be disappointed with it. Again, you're looking at minimum 10 hours, or like in my case, I hit over 70, but that's because I went through getting all the cards upgraded and grinding for crafting materials and all that. But yeah, definitely check this game out. It is well worth the money, and dare I say it, I would argue the game may actually be priced too low. Because most of the time, right, we look at the opposite, right? We look at a $60 first-party Nintendo title, and we think to ourselves, this game doesn't have enough content to justify the $60 price tag. SteamWorld Quest is half the price, and I think they could have actually charged more, just for the amount of effort and time and the quality they put into this game. So don't skip out on this one. If you like Paper Mario, you definitely want to check out SteamWorld Quest, and also hit up Brajan Sigurgesson on Twitter, because I know he does respond to tweets, and he does appreciate all the love for this game. And we need to get the word out that we want a sequel to SteamWorld Quest, and we want Intelligent Systems to take notice and create a game that is worthy of the name Paper Mario. In fact, I mean, maybe they should just change this name to Paper Mario SteamWorld Quest. Just a thought. Alright, that's all the time we have for you guys tonight. As always, if you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, make sure to hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Also, don't forget to subscribe to TOONDISE, and yeah, check us out. We're on Discord, we're on Twitter, we've got our own website. What more can you ask for? That is it for me. I will see you guys next time right here on GameView. Until then, I am Scott, and I will catch you guys later.